Fellow South Africans, it's me again before you go to bed. I want you to listen to this video. I have posted it before on my YouTube channel, probably like 4 or 5 months ago, because I want you to understand something. Your power, the power that you hold, and government, what they are afraid of. You. They are afraid of you when you do what? Unite. And when you are united, you speak one language, don't you? Exactly. That's what every government on this planet is afraid of. South African government itself is afraid of that. They know very well that if they ever speak against the 30th of June 2026, they are in trouble. And they are afraid also for the 30th of June 2026 because they have no idea what it could turn into. Remember the Arab Spring, and I'm not encouraging it. I'm just saying, when people are gathered and when people say, no, this is an opportunity for us to change things around, they utilize that moment. So I'm going to show you a video. And when you are listening to this video, please listen to it with the South African perspective because she speaks on the American perspective. So replace the American perspective with that of South African perspective and understand there are things that you are going to pick up. For example, pattern. The pattern that they have readopted. Well, before Black people, what happened to us? We were suppressed, we were oppressed, and also racialized. And then we went to 1994, democracy came into play, and suddenly we are liberated or free. Only for the liberation movement that became government adopted exactly oppression and suppression methodology from the apartheid regime.
So I've said this before, and I'm going to keep saying it because I know that there are three things that the government hopes that you will never figure out: the patterns, the power, and the cracks. Because if you ever connect the dots, if you ever stop seeing every crisis as isolated and start recognizing the system underneath it all, it's not just awareness, it's a threat to their control. So here's your reminder: the patterns. It is the same playbook every single time. They don't invent new strategies, they just recycle the old ones, just updated for the moment. Surveillance went from wiretaps to the Patriot Act to AI facial recognition. Redlining didn't die. It became zip code-based school funding, an algorithmic lending bias. The war on drugs turned into mandatory minimums and stop and frisk policies. And now, they're rolling it all back under crime waves and border threats. They rename oppression faster than they can ever reform it. And when we do catch on, they dress it up as national security or public safety. Pattern recognition is survival. Number 2 is the power. This is why they keep us distracted. You're not powerless, you're just deliberately overwhelmed. They flood you with headlines, crisis fatigue, and fake choices. Because if people ever stopped arguing and started actually organizing, all of this shit would collapse. You think they're scared of voters? No, they're scared of coordinated strikes, though. You think they care about tweets? Try mass disruption. Every time we've made real progress, labor rights, civil rights, voting rights, it only came after the system was made uncomfortable. That's why they pay influencers to sell apathy. That's why they dangle identity as a wedge. Because divided people don't demand change. They just debate each other. They don't care how loud you get as long as you stay disorganized. Number 3 is the cracks. This system is not stable, just heavily guarded. They act like it's unbreakable, but it's not. It's fragile as hell. But held together by guns, propaganda, and fear. Corporations loot openly, but you're scared to miss work. Cops beat protesters and call it crowd control. The same law they use to prosecute you, you can use to gum up the system, but nobody teaches you that, right? And here's the part they really hope you don't say out loud. When people start acting like they've got nothing to lose, the system listens fast. Nobody's glorifying violence, let me be clear. But let's stop pretending that peaceful protest is the only language that this system understands. Fear doesn't move them. Consequences do. They don't fear you knowing the truth. They fear you acting on it. They fear you connecting the patterns. They fear you linking arms instead of debating. They fear you realizing that this system has holes, but only if you know where to look. So this is your reminder: you're not crazy. You're not paranoid. You're paying attention. And once enough of us stop waiting for permission to fight back, that's when the balance will be forced to shift.
And to this very day, do you feel free? Don't you feel oppressed by your very own skin color? People who live in ivory towers, and we are talking about things that are affecting us and they're telling us we are wrong simply because they have money, they have medical aid cards, they have private schools that they take their children to. They never have to worry about anything. And yes, some of their best friends are foreign nationals. So that is why they will come down to us and say nonsense. She covers that. You need to listen attentively because that part is important. The other part also that I want you to pay attention to is her second point, us coming together and how the government is afraid of us coming together. And that last point is about cracks. And the crack, there you need to listen. Because coming together, I mean, she says it, I mean, everywhere, wherever there is a march or there is a protest, if it's done in a specific way, the government doesn't listen. But if it's done in a particular way, the government listens. Again, I'm not encouraging violence, and we shouldn't do it with violence either. You can do it with numbers on the streets when they see every street occupied, no vehicle moving, no shop opened. You are hitting directly in the pocket of the South African economy. And I believe every time when we go on a holiday, just one day holiday, a public holiday, we lose about 10 billion rand. Let that sink in. 10 billion rand, and the government cannot afford to lose 10 billion rand for 5 consecutive days. Let's say South Africans are saying, Uzos mamela, and until you do as we want, we will sit here on these streets, occupy every one of them. No business, stock exchange comes to a halt. That's when the government gets up and does something for the people. You see, you did not engage in any violence, no looting. Looting is stupid, people. Looting is stupid. Let's call it for what it is. Looting is stupid. Only people who cannot think beyond their nose, that they go and loot. And the worst part of your looting, some of these people that loot, you are looting the food that you are telling you not to buy because it's poisoned. And then tomorrow you're like, guys, says Boshiwe, you don't come to any court case. Who sent you? Did we send you to go and be a hooligan? I'm not going to support a hooligan, Mina. I cannot. It's called stupidity. And then when a whole bunch of people die from poison, and then now you're going to be asking for 10 rand, 20 rand, GoFundMe and all of that stuff. And yet you've been told over and over and over and over again, do not buy from these people, but you go and buy. Now you're going to want us getting involved in burying you and your entire family because ninenkani. Why? Anyways, I hope, fellow South Africans, we are learning. We have already started mobilizing. And I love the fact that we are mobilizing and rallying around the South Africans for a constitutional reform. Guys, this organization is God sent. Getting yourself involved, but the most important thing, to fight any cause, you need money. That 10 rand, that 20 rand, that 100 rand, it brings the victory even closer. And those that are doing us dirty, they are afraid. Imagine Parliament decided to respond to Prince Mtombeni, the chairperson of the South Africans for Constitutional Reform, and said, oh, by the way, those submissions that you want to take us to court about, we are sitting this Friday, the 5th of June. In my head, I'm thinking, In as much I don't like the ambush, but the message is what I am very, very proud about. It got through. It got through. Do you see now the purpose of coming together? And then we contribute the little that we have to fight the giant. The giant is afraid. Ugoliath. Ugoliath. Oyigwala bafethu. Oyigwala. So more than ever, it's important that we take SACR seriously. This is a voice and a force to be reckoned with. I am telling you, we will change this country. And that is why I want to say to you, fellow South Africans, it's time to remove politics from our lives. I have an entire video, which I also posted here on TikTok, where I am encouraging independent candidates to run for ward councillors, PR councillors, so that politics that is played in council houses, it goes away. So instead of asking people, but who do we vote for? I am saying, you know people in your community, probably yourself. As long as you can read, write, interpret laws, and also table laws, that means you draft laws, and then you table it in council, debate it, get it voted on, and executed. You need to learn, or you need to understand accountancy, how to count. And I'm not talking 1, 2 plus 2 is whatever. No. We're talking things like ledgers. You need to understand what a ledger is. I'm not an accountant, but that type of language, so that you understand the PFMA. You know those people. Those are the people you should vote for. You shouldn't be asking, so who do we vote for? No political party in this country deserves our vote. None. Because their job is to make a fool of you and I. Right now, they are busy trying to have each other squeezing each other's throats through tribalism. Evil. So we need to start removing politics out of our vocabulary, out of our society, out of our parliament, out of our provincial legislatures, out of our council or city councils, and even communities. Enough. They don't have your best interest at heart. You are a springboard for them to go to some country on the African continent to go and pillage it. And then they come and tell you you are wrong, you are xenophobic, because they are now thinking about their interest, business interest in Africa. They used you to get there. And now they're coming back to you and saying you are xenophobic. Imagine. It's all politics. Let's remove it.